Art Master Study of Vivziepop Style, Learn from a Modern Animation Icon. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. If you're inspired by the colorful, bold world of Vivziepop or looking to draw fan art in her unique style, you're in the right place. Vivienne Medrano, better known as Vivziepop, has captivated audiences worldwide with her animated series like Has-Been Hotel and Helluva Boss. Back in the day, Vivziepop managed to draw in a large following. Despite its flaws, her energetic, flamboyant style has become iconic. Today, we're going to break down Vivziepop's style to help you integrate elements into your own art. Remember, this is an art master study for educational purposes. We'll explore her line work, animation principles, gesture, shading techniques, and much more. Let's dive right in. While her technique may exhibit certain flaws, like broken anatomy, lack of consistency, and a lack of color value, she somehow managed to draw in a massive following of fans captivated by her work. There's an undeniable energy and expressiveness in her characters that resonates deeply with fans. In this video, we'll cover animation principles applied in Vivziepop's work, gesture drawing and construction, key details, shading techniques, backgrounds for character art. Let's start with line work. Viv's lines are clean but energetic, giving her characters a dynamic energy. I recommend studying the fundamentals of line and watching Proko's video on line work. It's a great foundation before studying Vivziepop's drawings. In my process, I begin by tracing Viv's art, which helps understand how she controls the flow and weight of her lines. After that, I redraw the pieces to build muscle memory and apply Proko's exercises, such as using thick and thin lines to emphasize form and movement. Studying line work will help you replicate that energetic, exaggerated look Vivziepop is known for. For line work, Viv uses a smooth, textureless brush, which adds to the crisp and bold feeling in her art. In Procreate, I use the script brush to achieve a similar effect, allowing for smooth, flowing lines that maintain energy and fluidity throughout the drawing. It's important to experiment with different brushes to find one that suits your style while maintaining that clean, dynamic look. Animation principles in Vivziepop's work. Viv was an animation major, and you can see her training come to life through techniques like squash and stretch, silhouette clarity, and dynamic poses. To dig into these, I recommend checking out the 21 Foundations of Animation course, if you can afford it. If not, don't worry. You can still study banners or sample content, just like I did. One of Vivziepop's strengths is how she uses animation techniques to create characters that are fluid and full of personality. Try focusing on these core principles when drawing your own characters to add life to them. This is meant to improve your art, not to learn how to animate. Gesture drawing and construction. Next, we'll break down the construction of Viv's character art. Her work prioritizes strong gesture over realism, and that's key to understanding her style. I filled my sketchbook with gesture drawings, breaking down the simplified shapes Viv often uses. Pay attention to how she exaggerates poses, pushing the limits of anatomy while maintaining a sense of motion and flow. Redraw some of her characters using construction techniques like circles, cylinders, and lines of action to grasp the fluidity and energy in her work. Viv's art is all about fluidity. She uses interesting shapes and flowing lines to keep her characters visually appealing. I recommend checking out Proko's video on creating fluid shapes. It will teach you how to avoid stiffness and give your drawings more life. The line of action and squash and stretch are crucial here. Spend some time studying these movements in her characters and practice drawing your own characters with the same fluidity and flow. Key details. One of the most recognizable elements in Vivziepop's style is her attention to key features, especially the eyes, mouths, hands, noses, and hair. These features are bold and exaggerated, which makes them stand out. In my sketchbook, I filled a spread with studies of these details: eyes with sharp edges and thick eyelashes, and hair that's always in motion. Filling up a spread with these small but important features will help you understand how to replicate her unique look. Now, let's talk about shading, one of my all-time favorite aspects of Vivziepop's work. She often uses a gradient with an airbrush and then erases parts to show where light hits, creating a simple but effective 3D effect. I tried replicating it, but I noticed my airbrushing was too light. If you attempt this technique, Make sure to be bold with your shading. Her shadows are strong, which gives her characters that crisp, vibrant look. Keep experimenting until you find that balance. Now let's dive deeper into shading. Let's break down how she achieves this. 1. Create a gradient base. Vivziepop often starts with an airbrush tool to create a smooth gradient over the areas she wants to shade. The airbrush gives a soft, natural blend between light and shadow, which forms the foundation of the shading. This gradient is typically applied across larger surfaces like the skin, hair, or clothes, ensuring the shading flows naturally. 2. Erase to reveal light. After applying the gradient, she moves on to erasing areas where the light hits her characters the most. This creates strong highlights, helping the form pop out. It's important to erase confidently. Don't hesitate to remove large chunks, as this is what really brings depth to the character. Number 3. Add strong secondary shadows. Vivziepop enhances the depth by adding hard-edged shadows in areas that need more definition, like under the chin, folds in clothing, or near the eyes. These secondary shadows are crucial because they provide that bold contrast between light and dark that makes her characters feel crisp and vivid. 4. Final light gradient. To wrap up, Vivziepop often applies a soft light gradient to enhance the overall lighting. This final step gives the art that glowing, polished look. She usually applies this at the edges of the character or in key highlight areas, subtly lifting the brightness to balance the shadows. Tip: when attempting this technique, don't be afraid to go bold with both shadows and highlights. Her shading relies on strong contrast to bring out the 3D effect. Keep experimenting until you find a good balance between softness and strength. Backgrounds for character art. Vivziepop's character art often features striking yet simple backgrounds, which is one of the reasons her work stands out. You'll often see gradients, beams of light, abstract shapes, or a simple drop shadow behind her characters. These backgrounds don't detract from the subject, but enhance it, drawing attention to her expressive character designs. Try playing around with backgrounds like these to keep the focus on your characters while adding visual interest. SVA Viv went to the School of Visual Arts, SVA, where she honed her animation and drawing skills. And the great thing is that SVA offers plenty of online content for aspiring artists. By checking out these resources, you'll essentially be learning from the same people Viv learned from. There are tons of valuable tutorials on fundamentals like gesture drawing, character construction, and more. One tutorial I especially like is the Beam Torso tutorial. It teaches you how to simplify and break down the torso into basic shapes, making it easier to create dynamic and flexible poses. This method is crucial when trying to replicate Vivziepop's fluid, exaggerated character designs. So if you're looking to improve your understanding of anatomy and form, be sure to explore these resources. The best way to study Vivziepop's art is by watching her speed draws, which she shares abundantly on her YouTube channel. These videos offer a close-up view of her artistic process, allowing you to observe how she constructs her signature style. By focusing on her line work, you can see how she adds dynamic flow and character to her drawings. Her shading techniques, especially how she builds depth and contrast, are also easily studied in these sped-up recordings. Watching her bring characters to life step by step is a valuable way to learn and improve your own art. Instructions. 1. Choose a Vivziepop speed draw. Find one of Vivziepop's speed draw videos on YouTube. If you haven't watched any before, search for Vivziepop speed draw to find one that you find inspiring. 2. Screenshot the final product. Once the speed draw reaches the finished product, take a screenshot of the completed artwork. This will be your reference. 3. Trace over the finished art. Using the screenshot, trace the final artwork to study how Vivziepop constructs her characters. Focus on line weight, shapes, and any details she emphasizes. 4. Recreate the speed draw step by step. Watch the speed draw from the beginning and follow along. Recreate each step by tracing or freehand drawing over your base sketch. You may want to slow down the video to catch all the important details. 5. Focus areas. Line work. Pay attention to how Vivziepop builds up her lines and where she uses thicker or thinner strokes. Shading and colors. Observe how she adds shading or colors to bring the characters to life and apply similar techniques. 6. Submit your progress. Once you've completed the drawing, share your work in progress and final piece. Include notes about what techniques you learned from following along with the speed draw. Bonus challenge. Try drawing a new character from scratch, using what you learned from Vivziepop's process. Apply the same line work, construction, and shading techniques. Happy drawing, and don't forget to have fun while learning. Want to take your art skills to the next level? Check out my art study template book. With easy-to-follow guides, exercises, and templates, it's the perfect tool to sharpen your skills and master any style. Whether you're a beginner or looking to refine your technique, this book will help you break down art step by step. Grab your copy now and start creating like a pro.